Here are some of the more fascinating coins featured in Heritage's New York International Numismatics Convention's signature auction for this year. Let's start off with a coin that is by no means the most valuable on the list, but instead comes from what is, in my opinion, a deeply underappreciated coin series. From the Russian Federation, this is the Protect Our World series of commemorative coins. The example is from 1993, depicting the Russian brown bear, with a mintage of just 1,000 pieces. From the St. Petersburg Mint, this coin is further distinguished by the grade of Proof 70 Ultra Cameo from NGC. It sold at auction for $3,360. Next in line is a very intriguing error coin from the Royal Canadian Mint, known as the Two-Tailed Cent. This is a 1980 Canadian penny struck with two reverse dies. The A side of the coin, what I consider to be the proper reverse side of the coin, is sharply struck with perfect details and perfectly centered on the planchet as well. The other side, or the B side if you will, appears unevenly struck with a badly worn and definitely misaligned die. The coin is of course meant to have the obverse bust of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, but here it possesses a duplicate maple leaf reverse image instead. The coin, along with a similar example, was first brought to the attention of the collecting public at large in 2001 when they were featured in Coin World. Now, this is still residing in that same slab, graded as PCGS MS64 Red. This rare error coin sold at auction for $9,900. When Edward VIII abdicated the throne of Great Britain in 1936, essentially renouncing his birthright and largely withdrawing from royal duties altogether in favor of marrying the twice-divorced American socialite Wallis Simpson, one of the unintended consequences was that the Royal Mint was all set to coin an entire series of new coins for 1937, including an entirely redesigned threepence coin. According to Mint records, only 3 complete sets of these new patterns were ever produced before the King's abdication. One is currently in the collection of the British Museum, and another exists completely in the Tyrant collection. The example of this threepence coin was graded by NGC as MS61 and managed to raise $63,000 at auction. Yelizaveta Petrovna, or the Empress Elizabeth of Russia, was a fairly interesting character within Russian history. The daughter of Tsar Peter the Great, she was, after her father's death, denied the throne and essentially seized control during a bloodless coup with the elite Preobrazhensky regiment at her back. Her reign is viewed largely as an age of enlightenment for Russia, building on her father's already good work. Some of the most enduring monuments to her legacy today are the lavish expansions brought about to the Petershof Palace and the grand designs of the Orthodox Smolny Cathedral and Convent in St. Petersburg. This 1759 dated 5 ruble gold coin is a rare example of her numismatic legacy, exceedingly rare in its own right, and while practically unseen entirely outside of Russia, it was graded as AU58 by NGC and sold at auction for $108,000. There really aren't a lot of lifetime or contemporarily issued coins featuring the image of Mary Queen of Scots. One of the better known is likely the 1555 £3 gold issue, although the gold ducat of 60 shillings is by far the scarcest of those, with a mere 5 coins known to exist today, 3 of which are in permanent institutional collections, namely the British Museum, the National Museum of Antiquities in Edinburgh, Edinburgh, and France's Bibliothèque Nationale, issued after the Stuart Queen's first marriage to Francis I of France in 1558, and featuring the profiled busts of the co-regents. This particular specimen was authenticated by NGC with a fine details grade for tooling marks. Despite this though, the closing price at auction was still $216,000, making it one of the most expensive Scottish gold coins of all time. And then, from mother, we head to son, as James VI was the only son of Mary, Queen of Scots, and her second husband, Henry Stuart, anointed as King of Scotland at the tender age of only 13 months, in the year 1567. He ruled Scotland until his death in 1625, and also became King of England and Ireland as James I after the death of Queen Elizabeth in 1603 with the Union of the Crowns. This impressively large 20-pound gold coin dated 1575 is by far the scarcest of this already scarce 2-year issue. 7 of the 1576 dated coins are held in private hands today, but to my knowledge only 2 of the 1575 issues have appeared at auction in, well, nearly the last 2 decades. This one particular coin, graded as XF40 by NGC and falling under the auctioneer's hammer at this occasion for $180,000. When you think of the Spanish gold cobs of Philip V, especially the 8 Escudos from the Mexico City Mint, the typical image is that of a crudely executed coin, unevenly struck on a rough flan, constituting little more than a chunk of gold hastily fashioned into a coin. Not a single of those particular tropes apply to what we know today as the royal issues, though. These are exceptional coins, truly, and the current piece was once described as the pinnacle of Spanish colonial numismatics. Recovered from the 1715 plate fleet, the royal issues were clearly struck with great care on a perfectly round flan. The dies were also unique, with added detailing and clear additional care given to the engraving thereof as well. The curious thing, however, is that there are no obvious contemporary records that would explain the existence of these coins. However, the intention does seem self-evident, that these coins were meant as presentation pieces. Graded as PCGS MS66, this coin attained a closing price at auction of $288,000. When the Royal Mint decided to launch the Great Engravers series, much to everyone's surprise, in 2019, there could have been no better choice to launch the Restrike series with than a coin of such enigmatic and everlasting appeal, such as the Una and the Lion quintuple sovereign. Issued in limited quantities both in silver and gold 2-ounce pieces, there were also gold kilo, 2 kilo and a single 5 kilogram gold piece offered, most of which managed to sell out almost instantly upon release. This is one of those 2 kilogram gold specimens of which there were only 4 coins minted. It is a massive coin at a 150 millimeters or almost 6 inches in diameter. Oh, and in case you were wondering, 2 kilograms comes to just around 4.5 pounds of 3/9's finest gold. Slabbed here by NGC as Proof 69 Ultra Cameo, the coin sold at auction for $360,000. The first gold coin to really take a hold in the Middle Ages as a proper circulating medium of exchange would certainly have to be the Florentine florin, struck on a near continual basis, virtually unaltered for just shy of around 300 years. Now, of course, we're talking about Europe here, which does not take into account the coins of the Almohad Caliphate or any of the Islamic world coins of that era, and of course the earlier struck Byzantine coins that were still being used by the wealthy and aristocratic of the day. But as for contemporary issues, the English King Henry III, of course, could not let this go unanswered, and sought to create an English coin to rival that created by the Florentine Republic. The result is what the Heritage Cataloguer so aptly refers to as one of the most fabled coins in all of British numismatics. Though called a gold penny, the coin is in truth struck at twice the weight of a silver penny and was valued at 20 pence. The coin was, however, not entirely well received, and the vanity project was eventually abandoned altogether. Today, only 7 coins appear to still exist, with one of these in the Fitzwilliam Museum in Cambridge. The British Museum, in an embarrassment of riches, are curating no less than 3 coins, leaving a total of 3 coins that are known in private hands, of which this is likely the finest known at a grade of MS63 from NGC. The coin took top honors at the auction, closing for $720,000 in turn. Subscribe to WNN and activate notifications with the little bell icon so you'll know when new videos are released. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, stay safe, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.